Let me tell you a story. A story about the future. A story about the next generation. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine today is June 12, 2055. A little girl wakes up just before sunrise in a small apartment in Kano. Her name is Amina. She is 10 years old. The lights are already on, not because her father remembered to start the generator, not because diesel became cheaper, but because electricity has become something she never has to think about. She stretches, opens the curtains, and smiles. Outside her window, the morning train glides quietly past. Her father checks his phone. The train is exactly 30 seconds away. It always is. He kisses Amina on the forehead and says, "See you this evening." He works in Kaduna. He lives in Kano. The journey takes less than an hour. He doesn't own a car. He doesn't need one. At the same moment, nearly 1,000 kilometers away, another child wakes up. His name is Chinedu. He lives in Enugu. Today, his class is meeting students from Maiduguri. Not because one school is visiting another, but because every school in Nigeria is connected. Every child studies together. Every child learns together. Every child dreams together. The children laugh. They tease one another about football. They compare accents. One little boy proudly teaches everyone a few words in Tiv. A girl from Lagos replies in Yoruba. Another answers in Hausa. No one tells them diversity is beautiful. They already know, because they live it every day. Amina's grandmother watches them on the television. She wipes away a tear. Not because she is sad, because she remembers another Nigeria. A Nigeria where people feared traveling, where darkness came every evening, where corruption stole hospitals, where children crossed oceans because they believed opportunity lived somewhere else. She whispers quietly, "Thank God they will never know that Nigeria." Later that afternoon, Amina's mother opens a small bakery. She doesn't spend weeks filling forms. She opens one app, registers the business, pays her taxes, orders flour from Benue, tracks delivery in real time, receives payment instantly. Her first customer is a young man whose grandparents came from Sokoto. Her second customer is an elderly woman from Bayelsa. Her assistant was born in Aba. No one asks where anyone comes from, only whether the bread tastes good. Across the country, millions of people are moving. Some travel by train, some by bus, some by ferry, some by autonomous taxi. They all use one ticket, one payment, one connected Nigeria. Children think it has always been this way. That evening, Amina logs into her National Prosperity account. She smiles. She doesn't fully understand investments yet. She only knows that every Nigerian child owns a tiny piece of the country. When Nigeria grows, she grows. When the country prospers, she prospers. When new industries are built, they belong a little bit to her, too. She is not waiting for charity. She is growing with her nation. Her grandfather calls. He laughs. "Do you know," he says, "when I was your age, we thought success meant leaving Nigeria." Amina looks confused. Why would anyone leave? Her grandfather smiles. He doesn't answer immediately. Instead, he looks out the window. He sees factories where abandoned land once stood. He sees forests that have grown back. He sees clean rivers. He sees trains crossing bridges. He sees children walking safely to school. He sees a country that kept its promise. That night, before bed, Amina has homework. Not mathematics, not English. She already finished those. Her assignment is simple. What will you build for Nigeria? She writes, I want to build the first hospital on Mars. She doesn't think it sounds impossible because she has grown up in a country that no longer teaches children what they cannot become, only what they might become if they work hard enough. Now open your eyes. None of this has happened yet. Amina does not exist. Chinedu does not exist. Their bakery has not been built. Their train has not arrived. Their classroom has not connected. Their country has not been finished. But neither did today's Nigeria once exist. Every road was once an idea. Every school was once someone's dream. Every nation that transformed itself began with people who believed the future did not have to resemble the past. The question before us is not whether this story is possible. The question is whether we have the courage to write it. Because history will not ask us how loudly we argued. It will ask us what we built. One day our grandchildren will tell stories about us. They will say that there was a generation that inherited enormous potential, a generation that could have settled for excuses, a generation that could have blamed one another. Instead, they chose to build, they chose to trust, they chose to think beyond the next election and towards the next generation. They chose to plant trees whose shade they knew they might never sit under. And because they did, a little girl named Amina woke up one morning in a country where hope was no longer a promise. It was simply the way life worked. My fellow Nigerians, that story has not been written. The pen is in our hands. Let us write the greatest chapter our nation has ever known, together. We are the first generation with the knowledge, technology, and resources to build the Nigeria our grandparents imagined. For too long we have argued over who we are. Today we begin building who we will become. We are not asking whether Nigeria can become one of the world's great nations. We already know it can. The only question left is whether we have the courage to build it together.
If this vision of Nigeria inspires you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who believes Nigeria can become something extraordinary. And tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you would change today to create a better Nigeria for the next generation? The future belongs to those willing to imagine it and build it.